Hi Rob, it's nice to meet you. So welcome to Meet the Sellers. Do you want to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So thank you for having me on here today. It's lovely to be able to talk about myself and the product. My name's Ravinda. Everybody knows me as Rav. Married with 2 children from Coventry. I do work full-time as a family solicitor. And
wow, that must be really intense.
it is really, really intense. It's really, really intense, actually.
So do you do that full time, or you? Yeah,
Yes,
are you working
so do it full time, although I've been lucky enough since having the children to work compressed hours, meaning it allows 3 days for me to actually work on res and spend time with the family, obviously. So 4 days working as a solicitor.
So hang on, so you're doing your brand, you're also a family solicitor, and you've got children.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It happens. I don't know.
How old are your girls, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so they're aged 4 and 2, so really young, a really hectic, chaotic household. Keep me on my toes. In fact, they probably give me a lot of energy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is busy. It is full on. But I think that's my kind of character. I like being busy. I like, you know, having goals set and working towards them.
I like that. Yeah, I really like that. How are you finding it balancing time with all these commitments and then finding time for yourself?
Well, the core principle of res is actually finding time for yourself and
I love
self-care.
that.
So that's really the fundamentals of my branding and why I wanted this product to be out there. It's twofold, really. So it's important. I couldn't do what I'm doing if I didn't take time out for myself, if I didn't find those pockets of time in the week, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's just taking time out to oil my hair. It gives me a bit of a step away from all that hustle and bustle and, you know, re-energize again. And yeah, you definitely need it, especially when you're busy. You need to really be taking care of yourself even more.
I love that you practice what you preach and you're not sort of just saying it on the label and your branding. You're actually doing it yourself. Tell me a little bit about your brand, actually. So tell me a little bit about the name Res. Where did that name come from?
Yeah, so you will be hearing about my 2 girls a lot in this interview. So it's all inspired by them. They gave me the push and the confidence, I would say, to really put myself out there. So Res actually stands for Rav, me, Isha and Sansar. So Isha is my eldest daughter, Sansar is my youngest daughter.
Oh my God, so it's actually named after your girls as well?
Yeah, so it's because of them I made it.
I love that. It's really, really personal. So tell me a little bit about what your brand. So obviously we've got your product here.
Yeah.
So what do you actually sell? What do you do?
Okay, so what this is a natural organic blend of oils, which is there to nourish, rejuvenate, replenish the hair. Yes, it smells nice. Yeah.
It takes me to a spa.
Yeah. I mean, with this, I wanted the feeling of luxury because it is luxury. It's luxurious ingredients that are being used. They're high-end ingredients that are being used.
It looks it as well. Like you can tell. And how long have you been actually doing Res for?
So, in practice, this has been happening since I was born. My mum has oiled my hair. My grandma used to oil my hair, my bibi and my nanny. So, you know, grandmas from both sides. This is, I mean, in the Indian culture, this is very rooted in traditions. It's an ancient form of self-care and also, you know, protecting your scalp and hair. So it's been going on for a long time, but in terms of launching the product, my blend has evolved over time, especially since I've had the children.
Okay.
And I officially launched last year in the summertime, I think June. Yeah.
So are your products mainly for adults, or is it for any sort of age range?
I've actually designed 2 products because I use a specific oil blend on my own children. So what's in the bottle is what I use on the children, and the other bottle is aimed at adults, which is what I've been using on myself for many, many years now. So, but the fundamentals of that blend come from my grandma.
So all this kind of, so you're talking about natural ingredients, weren't you? And you're talking about the kind of, the formula, let's say, of the actual oil.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to kind of get that development process done?
So I don't know if it's just because of my job and the way I am. I research everything until I'm satisfied that I'm using the best thing. When I've had children, I've become even more, I think any parent will know this, you want to research anything that you're putting onto your child, you want to make sure you're giving them the best. So I think it's just down to my own personal, I want to provide the best for the children, I want to put the best on myself. Time is money now, we're all so busy, I just want to, when I'm taking that time out to oil my hair, I want to know I'm using the best ingredients and it's actually doing something rather than it being a waste of my time, which I found, you know, other oils out there may be claiming X, Y and Z, but when you actually start researching the ingredients, you know, it's not really the best products to be placing onto your scalp and onto your hair. And it being organic and cold pressed oils was very, very important to me. I wanted that wholesome, from the ground type of feeling, nothing artificial again, because my children are very much involved in this process as well. I didn't want any irritation, so yeah, that was very, very important to me.
Do you know what, I'm actually thinking when you're talking about this oils and family, and it's taking me back to a time where my nanny used to put Thale in my hair, and I remember that being a significant bonding time actually with me and my grandma. And do you think that the products do more than just nourishing your hair? Do you think it's something that's embedded in us from years ago and it's keeping that tradition alive?
Most definitely. That's why I wanted it out there, because I think life's changed from when our nannies and bibbies were doing this, and even mums were so busy. But I have been so strict with this. Every week I will oil my hair. I've always found that time. And then people would ask me, oh, you know, your hair's quite long, and thank you. You have to take care of anything that you want to look nourished and well cared for. And I put it down to oiling. But in terms of what you're saying, yes, I wanted to launch this. It's twofold for me. The self-care element and the bonding time is so crucial. There's so much technology out there. The kids could be on the iPads. They could be, you know, doing all sorts. It's just that time to connect. It's also a time for the children to talk to me about something. If there's something on their mind, they actually ask me to oil their hair, and I really feel that I've like ticked off that, you know, I've been a good mum this week. You know, I've spent time with them, and but yeah, when I think about my grandma and my mum doing it, I feel like a sense of security. It's like a warm feeling, and you know, it's just it's an act of love. I can't explain it in any other way. You're connecting, and it's just it feels good, it's doing you good, and I can't see any negatives to it whatsoever. I just think that's something that needs to be incorporated.
I think even so, you know, at the times where I feel like I've been stressed out or I've got a lot of tension, I feel like we hold a lot of tension in our head. And I do find that massaging your head is one thing, but then massaging it with oils, it's really beneficial. And do you kind of notice that in yourself as well, that it helps relieve tension?
Of course. I mean, alongside the oils, I've also launched the scalp brush.
Is that this one here?
Yeah. So that could be a massaging tool as well. So once you've got your oils in, it's just like a gentle massage onto the scalp, stimulating the scalp. You know, getting over those pressure points. It is something that just relieves stress. And some of the ingredients that I've used as well. So, I mean, if we look at the children's one, the Bambino one, I've used lavender in there that promotes sleep. So, I mean, I advocate sleeping with it overnight, a minimum for two hours, but it really aids with the sleep, and I think that's so crucial for the children as well, and you know, helps mums and dads out, of course. So yeah.
Do you find that so I'll be really honest with you, I think I'm at that age where I really want to start taking care of like my skin, my body, my hair, and one of my pet peeves of putting oil in my hair is feeling like my pillow is going to get dirty at night, because I do think putting oil in your hair sort of overnight is going to be more beneficial than just the 1 hour. What kind of tips would you give to people that are worried about the kind of ruining their pillows? Yeah,
so it's really interesting you asked me that question, because there is a new product coming out, hopefully.
Oh, brilliant!
And this has been a pet peeve of mine as well. I mean, the way what I do with the children and myself is that I get an old towel, almost kind of wrap the pillow around, get the pillow and put the towel around. Try and get a heavy pillow, towel, so it's not moving around. But what I've now been looking into, and I'm just getting materials, because I want something that's a bit more breathable, a bit more comfortable, is actually trying to, well, what I would like to do is launch a pillowcase that's
brilliant.
made out of towel, but I want the right towel material. I want it sustainable as well. That's important to me, given the fact that the oils are all organic. So it's something that I'm working on, because I appreciate that pet peeve. But the way to overcome it is right now is just put a towel on. That is sufficient, and it does work. But yeah, I do think there's a gap in the market.
I think there is, and I think even just at the thought of having this kind of towel pillow, it just takes away. It's like, okay, the next thing I now want is hair oil, and I want that towel pillow. So that sounds really interesting. So you said that's the kind of next thing that's there for Res. Is there anything else that's coming for Res that you'd be happy to share?
I mean, as we've identified, I'm really busy at the moment with the children. I mean, my long-term aim is, you know, at some point that this is all that I'm doing, and I can really invest all of my time into it. I am passionate about hair and scalp. So, I mean, it's in the name, it's Res Hair and Scalp Care. So I definitely want to just maximise products within that market in terms of hair and scalp. And, you know, I'm always on the lookout. I'm always trial and testing other things on my own hair and scalp. So it's all just about expanding that. But you know, I want products that are, I mean, I say organic, but natural. I want I want family-based products, because I think family is always at the forefront of my mind. And yeah, that's important.
I think that's quite natural, because obviously, you know, you're a mum, and I do wonder if like your approach is sort of, when you were talking about the research side of things, you do thorough research. You know, it sounds like you really want the top quality products out there for people. And I wonder whether that's the solicitor inside of you and also the parent inside of you coming out.
I think that's both of them merged. I am a stickler for, you know, what legalities. I mean, in terms of the ingredients, it's all been to a lab. In terms of how much percentages are in there of the oil, to make sure that it's all certificated, that it is organic, and that's all been signed off. So I've had them through a couple of weeks ago formally. So I think that also sets it apart, rather than just saying, oh, I mean, yes, I have made this and it is my own blend, but it's also been certified. It is, as I've said, it is, and it is safe to use, and it is what I am claiming. So that is the solicitor side of me, which I think is beneficial for when running a business.
It is, and you know, from sort of this angle, is as a consumer, it's really nice to know that somebody's done that thorough research, and they've covered all bases, rather than seeing a potential of a product and a brand and just gone straight in and sort of launched it. And I really like that. You mentioned that you sort of started the brand summer 2021. You know, I also understand how difficult sometimes running businesses can be. What's kind of been the challenges that you've faced along the way, and how have you kind of overcome some of those?
I mean, contrary to belief, and being a solicitor, I think confidence has been one thing. I think I didn't realise how much I have to input of myself. Obviously, these are my babies as well, and you know, people want to know about me, and as I'm doing today. And I think I've had to grow my confidence in being able to talk about myself and talk about the product. Time has also been a massive hurdle for me. But then, as I said, this is so rooted in my children kind of being that push for me to do it, that although they keep me busy, I remember why I'm doing it. And it really helps that this product is something that I use on a weekly, twice a week basis. So the fact that I'm selling something that I use and advocate, and I wouldn't, you know, veer from this, I would not be cheating on my own oil. This is exactly what I use. People are asking me, what do you use on the girls? You know, the girls have got beautiful hair. It's because I look after it. I take that time to look after it. So time has been a hurdle, but I just remember why I'm doing this and what my long-term aim is. My long-term aim is I want this product to be a fundamental part of somebody's hair and scalp routine, but for it to also be something that families look to for a bit of self-care, a bit of bonding time, and to keep that tradition going, because that would be an aim of mine, but with a modern twist. You know, it smells good, it's not heavy. I think there's also this thing about oil stink, and it's going to get everywhere, and I'll be honest with you, it smells so good.
It does smell amazing. I've just smelled that.
Yeah.
It smells amazing.
It needed to smell good for my girls to have it in their hair, for me to want to be putting it into their hair. All of this all counts, and I think that adds to the luxury of the oil. I mean, for me, I put it in the girls' hair, and sometimes they've gone to nursery and school with it plaited. You can't tell because it's so lightweight. It smells nice. Then I can wash it out, so it just fits in with my routine. I don't want something that's taking me out of routine or feeling like it's a burden or a hassle. It needs to fit in with the modern mum or family's lifestyle.
Yeah,
I think.
I really like that. And you know, you touched base on reminding yourself that when things get really busy, you're reminding yourself of the why, you know, why you sort of started.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I actually want to ask you is, why do you think other sellers should join onto this platform, this EC?
I think this is, well, I've touched on confidence. I think this platform has given me that confidence to really talk to knowledgeable people about how to, you know, understand myself, understand the brand. I think being able to meet other sellers that I wasn't aware of, it's such a great platform in that way. It feels like a little community. Everybody's so friendly. It's, you know, I think it's brilliant. And I think that sense of, you know, from my understanding, it's Asian businesses, more, you know, businesses giving you a chance really to get out there and not feel like because you are Asian that is a hurdle really.
Exactly.
And I love that. Anything that promotes that, and women, I'm all for it.
Well, we're here to support you. I see you've mentioned that you do the luxury oil treatment for adults, and I know that you also do the ones for children. How do people get the instructions on when to use them, how often to use these oils?
Okay, so at the moment, predominantly, I'm selling through Instagram and obviously the City as well. So you can find a lot of information on there. If you do place an order, I'm there to answer any questions. I send out a package. Within that package, you have these really helpful cards. One being how you use it, and I mean, there's a bit of a story there as well, actually, in terms of how it's evolved and why I'm doing this.
That.
And then the second one is the hints, tips, and ingredients. So that's where you're going to find how to use it and a list of all the ingredients as well. I've always said, you know, I always want to be transparent. I'm always there for feedback as well. So I just wanted, you know, people to really be using it properly and to understand what they're putting on their skin and scalp.
Okay, so there's a really nice story on the back of this, and it really tells you exactly about the kind of routine, etc., to have as well. It's been really nice having you here,
Thank you.
Ralph. So thank you so much for coming. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed watching our Meet the Seller with Res Hair Care, and I've got a feeling that this is going to be very big for you going forward. So we wish you all the best, and we're here to support you in whatever way.
Thank you.